Welcome to the great state of Wisconsin, Governor. I represent a manufacturer, farm equipment manufacturer here in Wisconsin that directly employs many thousand people. Indirectly, as you can imagine, with farm equipment that we sell, we indirectly support many more thousand farmers who buy our equipment. On top of that, we export about a third of our product that we manufacture here in Wisconsin. So in essence, we're a global manufacturing company. To spark a trade war right now would not only be detrimental to business, but all those people directly and indirectly that I said we support. My question to you is, as president, how would you engage in trade and diplomacy that won't hurt global manufacturing businesses?
Yeah, number one, I want you to know, sir, that in my state now, we have over 63,000 new manufacturing jobs. It's really cool that we're paying attention to all the sectors, which we need to do as a nation. Let's talk about trade for a second. It's a tough issue. 1 out of 5 of Americans work for something related to trade. And secondly, that's 38 million Americans. Now, we need to have open and free trade. You know, I was saying to I do these town halls all the time. I love them, by the way. Look, remember when we got all those Japanese cars coming into our country? You know what happened to the U.S. cars? They got better. Innovation and competition really works, okay? But at the same time, when we do trade agreements and other countries cheat, and they do cheat, some of them manipulate their currency, and we need to call them on it when they do it. When we find it, we need to call them on it. But let me tell you another issue for you. So we had U.S. Steel invest a lot of money in our state. They invest money all over the country. The Koreans were dumping tubes inside the U.S. That means selling products below the cost of what it took them to make them. By the time you research and prove your case, which you would have to do, it could be a year or two, and all your people are out of work. We need an early warning system. And let me tell you, when they cheat, I will act as the President of the United States. Think of it this way. If Ohio State came up here to play your beloved Badgers and I asked for 5 downs to get a first down and you only got 4, how would you feel? You wouldn't put up with it, okay? We should not put up with countries when they cheat. But that does not keep us from embracing the notion of open and free trade. One other thing, we now have this trade agreement that's on the table, the TPP agreement. You know, what we basically do when we trade is we're the most open country and everybody else has barriers. So what we try to do is to get their barriers down so we can get our products into their country. But there's another element of this. You worry about the Chinese and their growing strength, particularly in Asia. Make a trade agreement, integrate ourselves with our friends in Asia who can become a bulwark against the strength of the Chinese.
But Governor,
so, sir, open trade good. When they cheat, you got to have an early warning system. You got to shut it off. And by the way, agriculture depends on exports more than about any other industry in this country.
But Governor, that message isn't resonating. I mean, Donald Trump is saying trade deals are essentially bad. They're exporting jobs overseas. That's a message which seems to be resonating with voters.
Anderson, I can say all kinds of things to get people stirred up. But leaders don't do that. Leaders tell people the way that they see it, even if it means for a while you're unpopular. Look, after my first, you can't believe how many people I made angry in Washington by fighting to balance the budget. Now in Ohio, in my first year in office, I was one of the most unpopular governors, but I knew what the formula was. And now I'm one of the most popular governors. You cannot make decisions as a leader by putting your finger in the air or doing focus groups or telling people what they want to hear so you get them involved, but you know what you're saying is not true. I will not do that. I have never done it in my lifetime, and I'm not about to start. Period and end of story.